UFC Vegas 69 was in need of a new main event, so Jessica Andrade used the opportunity to secure a new deal with the company. The Feb 18 card was originally set to be headlined by Marlon Vera vs Corey Sandhagen at the UFC Apex, but a change of plans left Taila Santos vs Erin Blanchfield as the top billing. When Santos decided to withdraw a week out, the company needed to find another opponent to face Blanchfield. Andrade accepted the offer this past Friday and signed new deal with the UFC. Well, in this video we will gonna talk about the top fights that you should not miss in UFC Vegas 69. Jim Miller vs Alexander Hernandez. Jim Miller spoiled Donald Cerrone's ride off onto the sunset, rallying in the second round to snatch up a guillotine win. In addition to earning his revenge against Cowboy, Miller snatched up the records for most UFC wins, most lightweight wins, and most bouts in the UFC history. On the other hand, Hernandez enters on a 2-fight losing streak. The great ape has not been losing to scrubs by any means, but between his inconsistent results and failed featherweight bid, it is safe to say that things have not been going to plan for Hernandez as of late. He stepped up the short notice here in hopes of changing his fortunes. Zach Poga vs Jordan Wright. I think UFC is not taking seriously the UFC fight nights, but still we gotta keep an eye on the UFC events. Well, in this fight, Poga meets Wright in the co-main event at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. Poga takes on Wright, who has finished all his wins but also has been finished in all his losses as well. Poga made it to the final on season 30 of The Ultimate Fighter as a heavyweight, but will return to his natural light heavyweight class in the UFC debut against Wright. Let's see what does this guy do at the light heavyweight division in his UFC debut. Jessica Andrade vs Erin Blanchfield. Andrade accepted this fight on late notice and will face off against Blanchfield in a flyweight bout scheduled for 5 rounds. Odd makers are expecting a close fight, with UFC odds opening with Andrade as favorite at -140 with the rising star Blanchfield at +120. Jessica Andrade is a former women's strawweight but has recently bounced between that division and flyweight. Since she accepted this rematch with just a week's notice, she'll fight at 125, which is what she weighed in at when she defeated Lauren Murphy by unanimous decision less than a month ago. Andrade has now won 3 fights in a row to rebuild momentum following an unsuccessful flyweight title bid against Valentina Shevchenko in 2021. The 31-year-old is a pressure fighter that uses her strength and power to bully her opponents, both standing up and on the mat. On the other side, Erin Blanchfield is 10 wins, 1 loss in her MMA career and has not lost since she was a teenager and competing at Invicta in 2019. She's a perfect 4-0 in the UFC and is coming off a third first-round submission win against Molly McCann last November. The 23-year-old is a grappling specialist that began training in BJJ since she was 7. Blanchfield set the women's flyweight record for takedowns in a fight against Mirana in 2021, and her last 2 victories have come by way of submission. These were my recommended fights about the UFC Fight Night Vegas 69. If you like the video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and stick with the channel for more UFC related videos.